In this video we talk about lunch. In the last video we mentioned that breakfast is by many nutritionists considered to be the most important meal of the day. In the Czech Republic there is by many people lunch considered to be the most important meal of the day. That's why we would like to make a compromise and move to breakfast is at least as important as lunch. We are talking about both size and macronutrients. So, when the ladder of importance is clear, let us talk about the difference between breakfast and lunch.
While breakfast should contain a significant number of complex carbohydrates that provide whole forenoon energy, for lunch we should reduce their amount. What we should focus on for lunch are proteins. Proteins are the main building blocks of muscle tissue that transfers to 38% of men's body weight and 35% of women's body weight. Besides being a building block, proteins do have many other functions. For instance, they regulate hormones and they also participate in metabolism. Recommended daily intake for adults is between 0.75 to 1.2 grams per kilogram. Protein is the only macronutrient that we can't make ourselves. Fats we create from carbs, and carbs we create from proteins. To make proteins, however, we need to consume amino acids through our diet that we later create proteins from. Amino acids that we cannot create ourselves are called essential, and there are 9 of them. There are foods with various amino acids combination. That's why we need to consume various foods. Protein sources we divide to plant and animal. In eggs, milk and meat we find all of the essential amino acids. That might look like an advantage, however, as we said in our first video, animal products, mainly those from mass production, contain other ingredients. Those are harmful when eaten often. Therefore, it is a good idea to get protein from other sources. Plant-based proteins tend to miss some of the amino acids. That's another reason to eat a variety of foods. It is fair to say it is easy to secure all necessary amino acids by combining legumes and cereals. Thanks to excessive meat consumption, there is no need to worry about the lack of proteins.
When it comes to lunch timing, it comes down to your regime. If you eat 3 meals a day, which we recommend for most people, it is right to make at least 5-hour windows between each meal and eat 3 hours before bedtime. So in theory, your daily eating regime could look like this. 7 a.m. you get up, 7:30 you eat breakfast, 1 p.m. you eat lunch, 7 p.m. you eat dinner, 10 p.m. bedtime. Don't forget to drink enough water throughout the day. Drink between your meals, drink 10 minutes before the meal, and drink at least 30 minutes after the meal. Do not drink too much water while eating. Alright, now let's move on to lunch composition.
Complex carbohydrates, which we mainly get from cereals, should make about 2/5 less than carbs we eat for breakfast. Instead of meat, there are other protein sources to be tried, such as legumes, tofu or tempeh. It is a big no to vegetables missing on our plates next to the main course. The green will help with the digestion. We should rotate between raw and heat-treated. For the most part, stay away from meals that are too fat. When it comes to fat meal consumption, however, it is much better to eat them for lunch over dinner. Sweet dot is what we should avoid altogether. Usually they contain ingredients that are first not friendly to our digestive system and second enemies of balanced energy. One additional sweet dot that has 300 kilocalories eaten daily would make up for 1 kilogram of body weight gain per month. Now let's have a look at restaurants around to get balanced lunch at.
The first place worth mentioning is Bistro Veggie Garden. It is located 5 minutes walk from Florentinum in Pobřežní Street, and it is crowded at lunchtime. It is possible to take the food away. In Veggie Garden, they offer meatless and very well-balanced meals from high-quality ingredients. The vegetable is part of every meal, and often we also find legumes that we don't eat enough. Soup with the main course goes for 170 crowns. The next option is fast food Bombay Express and other Indian restaurants. Its location is in Vodičková Street, 3 stops by tram from Masarykovo nádraží. In Bombay Express, you don't have to wait for your meal, and chickpeas menu, for instance, goes only for 79 crowns. Indian restaurants are a great way to avoid meat and increase legumes intake. All of this comes with tasty flavors and well-chosen spices. So if you like spicy foods, do not miss this one. Just across the street from the Bombay Express, there we find Country Life. It works as a cold and warm buffet where the meal price is based on its weight. Even in this restaurant, we see many alternatives to meat, so it is easy to lighten your diet. You get high-quality ingredients and non-fried meals. Do not forget to add the vegetable to your main course. You will be happy with the vast selection of salads. Alright, now we understand the importance of breakfast and lunch, which makes it 2/3 of the necessary information leading to healthy eating. In the next video, we will take a look at the last and smallest meal of the day, dinner.